Hello, I'm Peter Underwood, and this is news about changes in approach at News from the Water. Now, one of the characters created by the late great Terry Pratchett says about newspapers, "It amazes me how the news you have so neatly fits the space available." Now, because Pratchett was also a journalist and he identified the reality of the working day of every editor of a newspaper or TV bulletin. What we decide to share with the public depends on what's available, and sometimes that just isn't very much. But the time must be filled because that's your job. Except, well, it's not really my job anymore because nobody's paying me. So you'll notice that's particularly true of the waterways, where the same stories come around again and again, and there is a limit to how often I need to tell you that the Rochdale Canal has no water again, or CRT is still trying to blag more government cash by talking about well-being or the blue-green or some other catchphrase. You only have to look at the monthly Waterways publications to realise that they're constantly recycling the same stories to fit the space around the advertisements, with items, of course, that don't upset anyone. And if you want meaning-free public relations blurb, there's always Damien's weekly Boaters update, if you have to. Of course, there are things you need to know that you won't find in any of those outlets. We still need to call out the cheating, the fiddling of records, harassment of boaters. And we need to tell you when yet another major piece of infrastructure fails, why it's happened, how it will affect you. You still need to know whether CRT will be broke next year after the government's review, or perhaps whether the Environment Agency waters will end up in its clutches. So, after today, as I'm not actually employed to do this, News from the Water will pop up when it needs to do so. It will not arrive every Thursday, and it will no longer run 15 to 20 minutes no matter what. You see, the news available really doesn't fit the space all the time. Some weeks you may get 2 bulletins, other times you may have to wait a couple of weeks for one. They may be short and sweet or long and complicated. But above all, they will be driven by the news of what's happening at the time. We still need information, of course, along with video and stills from you. If you come across something that you think other boaters or waterways users should know about, then please get in touch. Keep them coming. To a great extent, how much news comes from the water depends on you. See you soon.
We need video and photos of all aspects of the waterways. Email files to peterunderwood2@gmail.com with your name and a brief description of it and where and when it was shot.